So the Cincinnati Bengals defensive captain Pratt has requested a trade. He led the team in tackles last year with 143. Now, a lot of Bengals fans are kind of mixed on this. Actually, they're not mixed. Some are definitely happy to see him go, and I don't really blame them to a certain extent. When you're the captain of one of the worst defensive teams in the league, you know, I feel like that whole side of the football for the Bengals needs an overhaul. So, is this the biggest loss in the world for the Bengals if they do end up trading him? No, absolutely not. But my issue with this is that the Bengals have a lot of things to address this offseason. And historically, this front office, Bengals management, Bengals owner does not like to spend a lot of money. And there's just a lot of cooks in the kitchen right now. First, you have T. Higgins, then you have Jamar Chase, Trey Hendrickson, and now Pratt. For a front office that's already pretty inactive in most NFL off seasons, I just feel like they have a lot of to-dos to do this offseason. And I don't know how it's going to turn out. I really don't. Joe Burrow actually had a quote about how he was really impressed with the Eagles of them being able to re-sign everybody. And if the Bengals don't make Joe Burrow happy, if the Bengals don't pay Jamar Chase or let T. Higgins walk, that's going to make Joe Burrow quite upset. And this offseason, next offseason, it's a really, really critical time for that franchise, because if they piss Joe Burrow off enough, why wouldn't he request a trade? Why wouldn't he hold out of being the Bengals quarterback there? I don't blame him at all. I mean, come on, bro. Like, the Bengals, the fact that Zach Taylor is still the head coach going into the 2025 season is just crazy to me. And I get it. They don't want to pay two head coaches because the owner is cheap. But, still, dude, you have a Hall of Fame-esque quarterback in Joe Burrow, a Hall of Fame-esque wide receiver in Jamar Chase, and the guy in charge of them is Zach Taylor. Are you kidding me? I don't know, man. I just think it's a really kind of nerve-wracking time if you are a Cincinnati Bengals fan, because I'm telling you, man, if they screw this up, Joe Burrow will more than likely ask to be traded, especially when we live in that Luka era now. Again, I brought this up in a previous vid of mine, but seeing a superstar like that get traded, one of the biggest trades in all of sports in all time, I'm telling you, that raised a lot of people's eyebrows. That made a lot of people wake up to a certain extent. And I'm telling you, there's going to be a lot more trades in the next few years and going forward. So yeah, man, let me know what you think about Pratt requesting a trade from the Cincinnati Bengals. Do you want them to keep him? Are you okay with the Bengals trading him? Let me know in the comments below. And just for fun, I just want to play a little hypothetical game. What if the Bengals do end up trading Joe Burrow in a couple years? What would they get for him, and where would he go? Now, you would have to imagine that he would 1000% go to an NFC team. To trade him anywhere in the AFC would just be so idiotic. So you would have to expect he would get moved to an NFC team. Now, I feel like the team that jumps out to me straight away is the LA Rams for sure. Matt Stafford, there actually are some trade talks of him being moved this offseason, but whether he stays or he gets moved, they will have a need at quarterback probably for the next couple of years. So LA Rams, definitely a team that I could see trading for Joe Burrow potentially. First of all, every team in the NFL would be interested in Joe Burrow unless you have Pat Mahomes or Josh Allen. Come on, dude. Joe Burrow is one of the best QBs in the league, so I just want to get that out of the way. Obviously, every team would be interested. But I think the Rams are actually a realistic team for him if he is on the trade block, because one, Les Snead is a very aggressive individual. He is notorious for trading his draft picks and whatnot, and they're just an aggressive franchise. I mean, they won that Super Bowl because they went and got OBJ, they went and got Matt Stafford, they went and got Von Miller. And I like that about the Rams. And I think they would do the same thing for Joe Burrow. Now, what would Joe Burrow command? I mean, if you're the Bengals, at least 3 first rounders, at least, if not like 4 or 5, and like a player back. Like, off the top of my head, I would say, like, you give me 4 or 5 first rounders, Jared Verse, and I don't know, like maybe Puka. That's a lot, but like Joe Burrow is a Hall of Fame caliber player, so I think it's worth it. A lot of people may not agree with me, but I'm telling you, man, like I think that's a fair trade. The quarterback position is the most valuable position in maybe all of sports, and when you have a Hall of Fame player potentially going to be available, I think 4-1s, Puka, and Jared Verse, I think that's a fair trade. But that's just me. Let me know what you think Joe Burrow would hypothetically go for if he is indeed unhappy with the Bengals going forward in the future. But back to the present and back to reality, there are 3 teams to definitely look out for that may inquire about Pratt. One being the Indianapolis Colts. The Bengals' former defensive coordinator, Lou, is currently the Colts' defensive coordinator, so there is an immediate connection there. Plus, they need help on their defensive side. Also, you never know. The Eagles are an aggressive franchise, and they might definitely be interested in him as well, especially if they lose Zach Bond and if they have just an extra hole to fill. That could be another spot for Pratt. But yeah, man, like I mentioned earlier, definitely scary times if you're a Bengals fan right now. T. Higgins is the big fish on the free agent market for this upcoming offseason. And I've mentioned this before, but there just was another report about it today. The New England Patriots really, really want T. Higgins, according to multiple reports, and they have all the salary cap to make it happen. And, you know, Joe Burrow wants T. Higgins back. Sorry, Joe. Like, I just don't think that's going to happen. They've had 2 off seasons to pay him, and now he's going to walk for nothing. Like, if anything, they should have traded him when the Bengals were struggling the first half of the year. Like, at least get like a 3rd or like a 4th for him or something. Instead, because they have, an incompetent head office, he's walking for absolutely nothing. Like, that's crazy to me. Like, teams would have traded for T. Higgins, but at this point, I feel like Bengals fans are going to be extremely fortunate if they even pay Jamar Chase. I don't even know if that's going to get done. They might wait another year to pay him, and that would just be crazy. I'm telling you, man, this team just does not like paying dudes, and they should have paid Jamar Chase a year ago as well, man. So the fact that they treat their star players like this, if I'm Joe Burrow, I'm on like my last straw, straight up. I'm on my last straw. In my eyes, they're walking on eggshells because, they're pissing me off. They're not paying my bros. T. Higgins is walking for nothing. Jamar Chase still does not have a contract. Our defense is terrible. Like, why am I wasting my career here? That would kind of be my mentality if I was Joe Burrow, but again, huge off season and a huge 2025 season for the Bengals and Joe Burrow. Because I'm telling you, if they have another year similar to this year, it's going to get ugly. It's going to get really, 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 really ugly. But you let me know what you think. You let me know if you agree with my sort of prediction on where this franchise is going to go. Let me know in the comments below. If you made this far, please subscribe and like the vid. It'd help out your boy a ton. That's all I got for right now. Peace.
They pick up some solid yards to make it a good situation for them. 3rd and short. Powell makes the catch. The Jets are going to burn the first of their 3 timeouts right here. The Jets will go for it here on 4th down and short. The Jets approach the line and they're going with their jumbo package. offense will call a timeout. At the line of scrimmage, the 41. Out of the shotgun formation. Decker's got it on a pass that had something taken off of it. Offense going to stop the game here with a timeout from the red zone.
That long gain sets them up here on this play.
Dropping back now into the shotgun. Touchdown, and they get one back.